Hi, this is Dr. Toby, your host on Health and Wellness. We have a special guest, Miss Lucinda Cook, RN. Lucinda went to Louisiana Technical College in Tallulah, and she got her LPN there at the age of 36. She was working as a correctional officer, and she noticed that people in the nursing profession were working shorter hours and making more money. At 32, she went back to nursing school, became an LPN at 36, went back to get her RN at the Southern University at the age of 42, and she got it at about 45, and today she's working as a travel nurse. She has 3 children, and she's going to share her relationship turmoil, how she's gone from man to man, how her husband or her father, baby's father, abused her, how her mother was denigratory to her, and even how she was sexually abused as a young teenager. This story will shape your purpose and help you pursue your dreams. You don't want to miss this time with Lucinda Cook. Watch it. God bless you. Jesus is Lord. Okay, yeah. Hi, this is Dr. Toby, your host on Health and Wellness. Thank you for joining us. Don't touch that dial. We have a great show on the show today. We have our very own Northeast Louisiana registered nurse, travel nurse, Miss Lucinda Cook. Miss Lucinda is a product of our community, went to school here in Northeast Louisiana and has moved up the ranks in her nursing career. She's a product of the Louisiana Technical College, and then she pursued her RN at um, the Southern University in Shreveport. And she's shown that with grit and with determination, you can get to the desire that you want. It's not enough to just settle. You can pursue your dreams. You can become who God wants you to become. So we're going to be talking about Lucinda as an individual. So we're going to ask a few questions about Lucinda. So you were born in Newellton, Louisiana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where is that exactly for those who may not have any idea?
Um, it takes me probably like an hour and 15 minutes to get home. It's I know a lot of people heard of Rayville, Tallulah, so it's east of Tallulah, maybe 20 minutes.
Okay. What was your upbringing like in Newellton? Were you brought up by a single mom? Was it a two-parent home? Were you brought up by a grandparent? What was your upbringing like?
Actually, my upbringing was a single mom. I'm number 6. I had seven siblings, and she was a single mom. She was a great provider.
You were 6 out of how many?
7.
And where was Daddy, if I may ask?
Um, it's complicated, Dr.
Okay.
Toby.
But was he
Dad,
ever part of your life growing up?
as I got older,
Okay.
I don't know my mom relationship and my dad relationship was kind of complicated to me as a child. I really didn't know that he was my dad. I knew him, I saw him, I've seen him before, but I actually didn't know that he was my dad until I became a teenager, to be honest with you. So he wasn't a part of my life. He tried to be a part of my life. I don't know what him and my mom vendetta was, but she wouldn't allow him to be a part of it.
But your siblings, were they from the same father or not? I mean, just was it a, what we call it, a blended family kind of situation?
My older sister, she had totally different father. I
Okay.
had a different father. My third, basically, everyone had a different father except for the last three. The last three had the same father.
So was there a male role model in the family or a male figure in the family? Up, when you were growing up, did you have a male in the house with your mom?
I did not.
Ah, wow.
No.
Okay. So did this affect you in any way? We hear stories of young girls growing up without a father figure, unfortunately going outside the home looking for love, and then
Hmm.
did you think that affected you growing up?
I know it did.
Okay.
I absolutely know that that did. There was a missing part. Because you don't have that person. My mom was a great provider. She was a great provider. She lacked communication skills, and then maybe that was because she was too busy being a provider. She was had to take care of 7 kids by herself. So maybe that's what it came into play into. But yes, having that father figure in your life to sit down and talk to you and explain things, yes, it does play as a major part in your
You
life.
say your mom was a great provider. What kind of work was she doing in those days? This was in the 1980s, 70s, maybe.
She was a cook.
Okay.
She would cook.
In Newellton.
Yes, sir, at a restaurant.
Okay. But she didn't own the restaurant.
She did not.
Okay. So she basically took home a salary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That's awesome. And obviously, without a father, it was a single income family, you know. So I can imagine her waking up early, getting you girls and boys and girls and boys to school, then
Coming
picking you
home
up
late.
maybe 5 p.m. I don't know if her job closed at 5, and getting you ready to bed, and then so that
Yeah.
was tough for a single mom.
It was. It was.
That was tough. Yeah.
It was.
I mean, did your grandparents come in anyway, or aunties, uncles?
No.
No support at all.
No.
Okay. Who was from Newellton, your mom or your dad, or both of them?
Both. My
Okay.
mom and my dad.
What's Newellton like? Is it small town,
It
50,000?
is. It is. It's
Small town.
it's small. Everyone know everyone, but you learn to appreciate that everyone knows everybody. It's small, but when something happened, the community comes together to help anyone.
So what
That's
happened after high school? So tell me, elementary to high school, what happened? How did you transition? Was it a good transition from elementary to high school? Did you stay in Newellton for high school? And then after Newellton High School, where did you go? So let's hear that.
okay. So basically, my mom was real strict. She was really, really strict. I wasn't allowed to play sports.
Wow.
I was basically allowed to go to school and come home. That's this type of mom she was. She was really strict. And so after high school, my goal was to go to college. And so I graduated May of 1992, and I attended, which was at the time ULM, in 1994. And I was going to school to be a teacher. That was the goal. But like I said, not having that father figure and that communication with my mom, I got pregnant at the age of 17. I had my baby at the age of 18. My mom was keeping my baby and trying to take care of the other siblings and work on her own while I was in college. So, nor to say that played out. That didn't last long. I think I went to college for probably 2 years, and I had to come back home and take care of my child,
Oh,
my
wow.
responsibility.
So it used to be called North Louisiana in those
NLU.
days. NLU,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's an interesting story. Obviously, the father of the baby, you didn't get married to him.
No.
Okay.
We dated. His parents, his mom, beautiful lady. When I came home, she did what she could. She encouraged me to go back to school. She told me she would help me with my baby, and she did. She did her part. But I was just distracted, young,
Of course.
distracted, and I didn't
17.
succeed.
That's amazing because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't even finish high school at 17. So you finished at 16,
I finished at 17.
17. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you had dreams, and obviously, when you got to college, you maybe you felt you had some freedom.
I did. That's exactly what it was. I had freedom.
And you wanted to explore that side of the world. So was religion part of your family? How did your mom raise you, ladies and gentlemen? And was there a church relationship? Was there? What did you guys do?
Okay. My grandmother, she died when I was 13. I never recalled her going to church, but I can recall her always praying to God. Always praying to God, praying to God. And so I didn't know who God was, but I feel like if my grandmother is praying to him all the time, maybe he's somebody I need to pray to. So she wasn't going to church at that time, but I picked up on that God was somebody that she called on, and evidently He helped her, and so I did the same thing. Um, at the age of 28 is really when I got closer to God, and I found myself, leaning and depending on Him and believing in Him and His words. Like I said, my oldest daughter, Sharika Tony, her grandmother is the one who took a liking to me, and when I had my baby, we just clinged. We just
Oh,
stayed
wow.
tight knit. Even though me and her son wasn't together, we remained good friends, and she believed in me, and she constantly picked me up and took
Right.
me into church home.
Okay.
Every Wednesday, every Sunday, we were in church. That was our time together
Oh, wow.
to serve God. And
Okay.
so that's at the age of 28 is really when I
Right.
found myself.
And tell me a bit about your siblings. You're the sixth, so you're probably one of the younger. So are they still in Newellton? Are they all over the world?
They're all over. I have a sister. She lives in Baton Rouge. I have a brother. He lives in Faraday, Louisiana. I
Okay.
have another brother. He lives in Colliston. So they're all
And your
over.
mom?
My mom is deceased.
Oh, so sorry,
Hmm.
right. And obviously you don't know if your dad is.
My dad is
Oh,
deceased.
he is too.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, I think my first semester into RN school, my mom passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yes, she
Wow.
did. So
Was it a long, drawn out illness, or was it a short?
it was short.
Okay.
Um,
And this was after your sister had passed, right?
yes.
Wow.
My mom's been deceased for 3 years. So, what happened was she was sick, and I knew something was going on with her. It was respiratory issues, and I kept asking her like, "What is going on with you? What's going on?" But she wouldn't tell me anything. She was just like, I don't know," and I'm like, "Something is going on with you," and I never forget. I went to work that Saturday. No, I went to work that Friday, and I called her. I said, "Hey," I was like, Monday, I'm coming to get you." I was like, I'm gonna bring you to primary. I said, and we're gonna find out what's going on with you. We're gonna do some chest X-rays, and we're gonna find out what's going on with you. Well, that Saturday, she passed away. She didn't
Wow.
even make it.
Oh my goodness. That's tough. Yeah.
Yep.
So so you currently your only connection to family are your siblings and
All my siblings.
obviously your in-laws, maybe your daughter's,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
parents maybe. I hope they're still alive.
they are.
Okay,
They
yeah.
are.
Thank God for that.
Hmm.
So yeah, the Christian faith can shape your life if in a positive way, and I think you probably met Jesus at that age, and
Hmm.
I think it helped put you on the right track.
It did.
For example, when you went to work in the correction, I'm sure you noticed that could have been you, right? You
Yes.
noticed these are people who went to high school with
Hmm.
me and unfortunately made one or two wrong
Hmm.
decisions. So like somebody said, if but for the grace of God, there go I.
Hmm.
Everybody can make mistakes and all that.
Yes.
So what took you to the prison? Was it just a buck? You wanted to make some money, or you had a mission to help people in the prison?
No, I wanted to make a buck. Norton is small. It's
Okay.
limited a job. They had, believe it or not, they had a correctional facility there, and so they only had correctional facility. They only had a nursing home. They had gas stations, as cashier. So I applied as a correctional officer.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I guess you could do the work.
And I could do the work.
So when did you move to Monroe? Was it after you got your LPN?
It was after
Oh,
after
okay.
I got my LPN. Um, and it was crazy. I was just thinking about that. What happened? I worked at a nursing home, 3 to 11, and the DON actually took a liking to me. And I would leave. My shift was 3 to 11, but sometimes I would leave like at 1 o'clock in the morning because you still, even though you relieved, you still have to do your chart and
Stuff, right?
yeah. So sometimes I would leave at 1. So I never forget, I came to work one day and she said, "What do you think about moving to Monroe?" And I said, "I think it would be fine, but I have to take time out to find a house." And she said, "Well, I found you a house." And I looked at her and said, "You found me a house?" She was like, "Yes, I found you a nice home for you to rent out. It should be in your budget. I want you to go look at it." And I asked her, I said, "Well, why did you do that for me?" She said, "Because you're a nice person. You're dependable. I don't want to lose you." She said, "And eventually you're going to get burnt out from driving from Newarton to Monroe every day." She said, "So therefore it's just easier if you just move to
Move to
Monroe."
Monroe.
And I looked at the house, I liked it, and I moved to Monroe.
Wow, that's awesome. Interesting. And since then, Monroe has been your home.
Yes.
And I know you just bought a house and you're pretty much settled in the city now
Yes.
with your kids and all that. So let's talk a little bit about what your fondest memories growing up were. Everybody has fond memories. Was it high school? Was it elementary? Were you the prom
No.
queen, or
No,
were
not
you
at all.
the, I don't know what they call, the cheerleading team?
No.
Were you, but you went to Newton High
I
School, right?
did. I
Okay.
did. I
So I'm sure
did.
you have fond memories of those days.
My fondest memories is basically with me and my sister, because we actually were in the same grade level.
Not the one who passed
The
away.
one who passed away.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
sir. And those were my fondest memories with her at the school.
Wow. What
Yes.
exactly took her life, if I may ask?
Skin cancer.
Okay. There's
Yes.
three of them. There's basal cell, there's squamous cell, there's maybe small cell.
Squamous.
So it was squamous. In an
They said it
African
was right.
American,
That's
it's
what
not,
they said.
yeah, very uncommon.
They said. Yeah.
And she was in her 20s?
She was 20.
That's,
28.
that is extremely, extremely rare.
Yeah, that's what they told us too. They was like they never would have diagnosed her with that because it's so rare in African American.
So did it make you, so you developed a passion for nursing, but I'm sure you also now take interest in people's skin
I do. I do.
because of that. Was she also light skinned? Because I
She
know
was dark
she was
skinned.
dark.
She was
Wow.
dark skinned.
Wow.
She was.
So the key is always early diagnosis to avoid, delayed spread and all that. So that's important. So elementary school was in Newton.
Yes.
What's the name of the school? Was it?
Norton Elementary.
So you never went to private school, always
No.
public school.
Always public.
And by the time you went to school, everything was integrated, right?
Yes.
So was it a mixture of African American, Caucasians,
It was.
Hispanics? Okay.
Mixture.
Did it affect your relationship with other races? Because a lot of people go to schools that are just African American or just Caucasian, but I've always thought that if you go to a school that has a mixture, you may be able to relate better with other races. What did you think about that? Did you have friends today who are Caucasians and Hispanics as a result of that?
I do. I have friends who are Caucasian and Hispanic. Yes, I do.
So it's just one of those things that I think a lot of schools miss out when they make a school so monolithic. You don't allow your son or your daughter to get the influence of other races, the culture of other races. And that happens a lot when a child goes to a private school or a school that is maybe in an area that is so demographically monolithic. So that's why I think it's important we explore that. And so all your life you've been through public school, so that's amazing. That's awesome. And thank God your mom, she put in a lot to get you to where you are today. And I'm sure by the time she died, she was happy with the progress that you had made.
Um, and it was crazy. It's ironic that you say that because I kept saying, I knew something was wrong. I say, "Mom, why don't you come and live with me? You need to come and live with me." And she wouldn't. She would not. So after she passed away, I talked to one of her good friends, and I was like, I just don't understand why she didn't want to come live with me and let me take care of her. And her friend said, well, she thought about it, and she said she didn't want to be a burden to you because you were in school, and she didn't want to hinder you and keep you from going to school. So she passed away that Saturday. I had an exam that Monday.
Wow.
I went and took that exam
that,
that
yeah.
Monday. I bombed it, but I took it.
Wow.
my instructor, she knew, I don't know how she knew, but she knew my mom had passed away. And she told me, she's like, I wasn't even looking. I didn't think you were even coming to school today.
Wow.
And I said, well, yeah, I had to take the exam. You know, she's deceased. I have to keep moving because that's what she wanted me to do.
So was she emphatic about education, or was she? Because I'm curious. 7, 8 of you. She has no way she could have afforded college education for all of you. Am I correct? How did you pay for school in NLU when you were there? And did your other siblings go to college as well?
No, I'm the only one who actually went to college. My sister, I have a sister now. She's actually going to school now to become a nurse.
Awesome.
So it took her a while. It took her a while to get it. She's 28, and so she decided, well, okay, you seem to be doing pretty good, and she has 4 kids, and she said it's time for her to make a change. So
Wow.
she's in school now to
So
become a
you are the
nurse.
first graduate
I
in your
am.
family.
I am.
I mean, if you look at your mother's side, I don't know about your father's side of the
Mm-hmm.
family, but
My father's
it
side
looks
too.
like you're the first graduate. That is,
Yeah.
and you became a graduate in your 30s, so it's never say never. You know, never
Yeah.
say never. Growing up, how many boys were there? How many girls in the family?
It's 3 girls and 4 boys.
Okay. Was there ever a competition? Was there ever, I don't know, blended families, at times there might be one or two issues because you're not from the same father. I don't know if that ever came up in your.
No, because mom wasn't there, and we all had to lean on each other. So it was never a competition. Like I said, she was real strict, and we had to work together as a team.
Oh, wow.
So we never competed.
So rather you just helped each other
We just helped.
to make sure mama didn't get.
Exactly. We knew she'd get off of work at 9 o'clock. The house probably looked like a tornado, but when we all pulled together, we was like, it's
Clean up
clean.
everything,
Yes.
Now, just give me a background. When you got to college, had your first child at 17, were you ever concerned that maybe I'm going to end up. Were you ever worried about this pattern of maybe your mom and children
Was.
and without a father repeating itself? Did that ever cross your mind? Are you. Some people feel that if you see something in your mom, and some women can end up repeating that pattern except they make some changes. So I'm just curious, how did that affect you when you went into a relationship with somebody else? Were you looking for closure, that I want a man who I know will never leave me? I want a man who he's going to be there 24/7. So some women become hanger-ons. They become desperados because they don't want to repeat that mistake of their mother according to them. Then on the other hand, some women are like, I don't care. I'm just going to see where the lines fall. So how did your mom's life and relationship shape your life and love and your relationship?
Okay. Seeing my mom as a parent, nothing against her. My mom, beautiful lady, great provider. As a parent, I wanted to change that. I wanted to be a better parent to my kids. I wanted to be their provider, but I also wanted to be their communication. I wanted their communication open. Dr. Topa, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I've never heard the word "I love you" from my mom until I was 28. As growing up, I never heard her tell one of me or any other siblings, "I love you." And so when my sister died, that brought us closer. And then, like I said, Miss Bailey, introducing me to God, and I humbled and my heart. And one day we were talking, and I said, and after the end of the conversation, I said, "Mom, I love you." And she held the phone for a minute. And then she said, "I love you too." So at the age of 28, I was like, that's a cycle I want to break with my kids. As far as relationship wise, oh my, I did. I brought the relationship wise into my relationship. Now that I didn't change until the age of 40. I wasn't getting why my relationship was a fail, and it was because I constantly was doing what I saw my mom do. No one talked to me about relationship. I didn't have anyone to explain to me how relationships are supposed to go, how it is to treat someone that you love. So what I saw my mom do, I mimic it, and I failed. That's why the relationship was a fail. And it wasn't until the age of 40 when I actually met someone who just, it wasn't that he didn't love me, he just couldn't tolerate me. And he actually decided to do something different. And when I lost him, I was like, okay, what did I do wrong? And we remained good friends. And after the relationship was over with and we remained good friends, he told me the things that I did wrong. And I got it. I was like, okay, that's because that's what I saw my mom do. And
Wow.
and it
So your
wasn't
mom
correct.
never showed love to, anybody you can. It was purely work
You had to
business.
have tough skin. It was tough skin. And that's what I had.
Oh
I
my
brought tough
word.
skin into the relationship. So,
And some men can't handle that
no,
toughness. They
no,
want some
they couldn't.
some cutie pie and
Yes,
Lord
yes.
have mercy. Yeah. So wow, 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 wow. And none of your siblings went to the military.
No, sir.
Okay, none of them went
No.
to the military.
Mm-mm.
So that's interesting. So yeah, that's something that we need to
Mhm.
discuss because 80% of marriages in some parts of America end in divorce with single parent homes, and like you said, if you don't react appropriately, you chase people away that
Mhm.
may be sent by God
Mhm.
to bless you
Mhm.
and love you.
Mhm.
You become your own worst enemy,
Mhm.
shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Treating a man, a pastor once asked, a woman said to a pastor, "How do I know the man God has for me?" The pastor said, the man that speaks to the queen inside of you, and the man that you speak to the king inside of him. That means somebody who sees potential in you
Mhm.
and wants to bring it out.
Mhm.
You want to hang out with people who inspire, encourage, motivate. Nobody wants to hang out with people who
Mhm.
tear them down and
Mhm.
just castigate them. Nobody
Mhm.
likes being torn apart.
Mhm.
You know, so, can you imagine living all your life with somebody who daily just wears you out, tears you down?
Mhm.
Nobody wants to do that.
Mhm.
So many times, and unfortunately, I don't know if you see those movies, the African American woman has been given this label of the mad black woman.
Mhm.
I don't know how the Tyler Perry movies call it, but the,
Mhm.
the hater, the black
Mhm.
mad woman, just people who just behave erratically. And I
Mhm.
think it's a wrong picture for the
Mhm.
African American
It
woman,
is.
because a lot of African American women are not that.
Mhm.
They want to be loved, but
Exactly.
unfortunately, the pictures they've seen are not those. So we've been sharing with Lucinda Cook. She's shared her heart with us. We're going to be coming back next week. We're going to talk about her raising her children. She made up her mind to raise her children in the fear of the Lord and with the love of God. She's done a great job. Two of her kids are out of college. One is in high school. She's modeled a godly mother to them, and most importantly, they know that she loves them. We're going to be sharing what she's done right and how she's left this legacy for her next generation. Don't forget, Jesus is Lord. God
It
bless
is.
you.